when you Google immortal jellyfish. This is what comes up. A humble ocean creature that literally reverses time. A jellyfish that turns into a younger version of itself. Now that's pretty freaking sweet. And today we're gonna figure out how it works. Hey there, welcome to my channel. Let's start with a bit of stage magic. You've got an ocean full of jellyfish? There are dozens of different kinds. Our species is the Turritopsis. Dohrnii. This little guy is a few millimeters long. Smaller than the head of a pin. It's been swimming around for weeks. Maybe months. It's getting old. So it starts to turn brown and shrivel up. You think it's just another dead jellyfish until suddenly it doesn't die. Instead, it shrinks down and starts over again as a baby. The whole process takes about 4 days. In 1880, scientists estimated that one population had gone through this cycle 4,000 times in a year. That's 11 cycles for every human lifespan. But exactly how does it do this? Well, let's find out. Scene 1. Meet Turritopsis. Dohrnii. As far as we know, the immortal jellyfish is the only known animal that can do this. If you already thought this was cool, just wait till we explain how it actually works. But first, a quick word from our sponsor, Brilliant. They offer thousands of lessons in math and science, from basic to advanced levels, including creative coding. Their courses make learning really fun with interactive challenges that help you stay engaged and build your skills. Brilliant has recently rolled out new courses on AI and large language models, which have been trained on a massive amount of data to generate text in response to prompts. The course covers how these models work and some of the challenges they face, allowing you to explore one of the hottest topics in technology today. Learning something new should be personal, engaging, and fun, and that's brilliant. So, the immortal jellyfish is in trouble. It could be starving because there aren't many tasty plankton around. Maybe it's been bitten by a predator, or it could just be super old. Whatever the reason, it needs to revert back to youth. This is normally triggered when the jellyfish is about 6 weeks old, but they can start reverting at any point after maturity. But how do you turn back time? The secret lies in the jellyfish's cells. All living things are made of them. They come in different shapes and sizes and perform different jobs. Skin cells protect the body and keep it moist. Muscle cells contract to allow movement. Nerve cells carry electrical signals, but all cells contain the same DNA. When that DNA is packaged together, it's called a chromosome. Chromosomes control how cells grow and divide. Most of the time, they just hang out in the nucleus. But when they start to shrink, well, they get a lot more active. Scene 2. How it works. When the jellyfish gets stressed, it triggers a process called cellular transdifferentiation. Cells literally turn into different cell types. This sounds kind of familiar, right? Like turning lead into gold, cellular transdifferentiation is basically the opposite of that. One type of cell becomes a different type. The key is those chromosomes. They go from being inactive to hyperactive. Here's how it works. First, they move out of the nucleus and shed their protective packaging. Then, they migrate to different parts of the cell. Some migrate to the front of the cell, others to the sides, and still others to the rear. Depending on where they end up, they send out chemical signals that tell the cell what to do. For example, if they land near the front of the cell, they might signal the cell to develop into a new mouth. If they end up on the sides, they could become part of the digestive system. At the rear, they might form a new tail. In short, the jellyfish's cells basically forget what they were and become whatever the body needs. In effect, the chromosomes wind up running the cell, which seems to require a lot of energy. That's why the shrinking jellyfish polyps feed their fully grown siblings before the process begins. And that's why they need to find food once they begin to grow again. What's really wild is that this process happens to all the cells at the same time, meaning the jellyfish has to essentially rewrite its entire body plan in just a few days. The shriveled up adult transforms into a juvenile. It loses its mouth, tentacles, and digestive system. Then it regrows a new bell, tentacles, and stinging cells. The final touch, it adopts a new pigment, giving it that distinctive bright pink color. Once it looks like a baby, the immortal jellyfish acts like it swims around without a purpose, drifting wherever the current takes it. That's because it no longer has a brain. During the reversal process, the nerve cells revert back to stem cells, losing their ability to process signals. Fortunately, this isn't permanent. Over the next few weeks, the brain will regenerate, restoring the jellyfish's intelligence, so now it's young, healthy, and ready to take on the world. Well, maybe not quite yet. It needs to mature. In other words, the entire process has to happen all over again. That's right, the immortal jellyfish spends most of its life cycling between adulthood and childhood. Scene 3, Limits of Immortality. Of course, immortal doesn't mean invincible. Immortal jellyfish are eaten by sharks, fish, sea turtles, even other jellyfish. They're also vulnerable to disease, pollution, and extreme temperatures. But if none of these factors intervene, the immortal jellyfish could keep resetting forever. And the fact that it's been doing this for at least 3,000 years suggests that it probably will. After all, its ancestors evolved this ability in the first place, because it helps them survive. So long as there are favorable conditions, they'll keep cheating. Death. Scene 4. Why scientists care. So why do we care whether this obscure deep-sea creature can cheat death? Well, for starters, it could help us better understand aging. Aging is associated with a decline in physical and mental capacity. We get weaker, lose our memory, become more susceptible to disease. But studying the immortal jellyfish could help us figure out how to prevent or reverse these effects. Another reason is regeneration. The immortal jellyfish not only restores its youthful appearance, it also regrows lost body parts. Studying this process could help us develop treatments for people who have lost limbs or suffered severe burns. Plus, understanding cellular transdifferentiation could help us develop new cancer therapies. Cancer is associated with abnormal cell growth and division. So, perhaps the immortal jellyfish holds the key to fighting cancer as well. Scene 5, Philosophical Twist. Now, hypothetically, we could apply the lessons learned from the immortal jellyfish to humans. We'd be able to rewind the clock and become a bunch of carefree kids again. No more responsibilities, no more deadlines, just fun and games forever. Sounds pretty great, right? Well, it does until you get bored. Because here's the thing, childhood is great. You get to play, explore, and learn. But at some point, you need to grow up and tackle new challenges. Adulthood is different. You have obligations and stress, sure, but you also have accomplishments and experiences that make life worthwhile. So would you really want to throw all that away? What's more, even if you could become immortal, would you want to? People often talk about the benefits of immortality, but nobody talks about the downsides. For starters, you'd be around for some pretty wild stuff. The sun will expand, engulfing Earth and killing everyone. Or maybe humanity will destroy itself with nuclear war or climate change. Not exactly exciting times to be alive. Conclusion. The immortal jellyfish cheats death, but not life. It's fascinating to think that such a simple creature has unlocked the secret to reversing time. Perhaps one day, we'll learn how to apply this to humans. But until then, we'll just have to marvel at the amazing creatures around us. So what age would you choose to reset to? Let us know in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe for more fun science Thanks for watching.